Hi Scorpio, welcome to your monthly reading. As always, keep in mind that this is only a general reading. Always check what it feels right and with what does resonate within your own life experiences during this time. If you would like to have a personal reading with me, please contact me through the email I put in the description box below. For the month of July, as usual, I have a special sales offer available, and for this month, it's inspired in the Cancer theme season we are on, and it's called MoonSpell. And basically, it's a reading that guides us through a better understanding of the type of lunar moment we are facing, the lunar qualities within us, what they are kind of in need of to feel nurtured, safe, and stable. So, if you would like to know more details about that special offer or any other of my services, again, just email me. Or if you would like to donate and support my channel, you can also do that by following the PayPal link, which is also down below. So, Scorpio, I feel like July can be a very interesting month when it comes to transmuting old pains associated with relationships, with betrayals, with losses, things that have left some sort of imprint on your emotional energy. There's a sense of possible recovery, regaining of trust for those of you that feel like you have lost completely trust in love, in relationships, in romance. For those of you that are struggling in giving of yourselves, in trusting emotionally with the partner you are in, with the current partner you are in, or even with just with people in general. There's a sense of not trusting. There's a sense of not being able to trust fully, due to past imprints that left you hurting in that regard, feeling betrayed, feeling like there's a hole here between there's a gap, I'm sorry, between how far you can really go with someone, with something, without it without it letting you down. So there's an expectation of constant letdown that traumatizes. It brings a lot of trauma bonds into your life, let's put it that way. For some of you, there's an instant sense of recognition during July. So this instant sense of recognition is that you might fall in love and again have that recognition of that pattern or that problem that has come from some time. You might have that happen again because of the manifestation of an important love situation or relationship. And you might recognize that there are attributes about one specific relationship you're now dealing with that reminds you a lot of something of the past in which a Three of Swords moment was experienced. Particularly when we have the Three of Swords in the soul position, this is a huge indication that we are indeed still hurting about something, or that the month of July brings us an awareness about what hurts, about things in our heart space that are not okay and that need our sense of love, care, and even reflection. I feel like for some of you Scorpios, if you do a little bit of reflection, you can reach an understanding. You can reach, it's like you start to consider options that perhaps are healthier than those that you have so far chosen to pursue, when it comes to your ways of relating with others, when it comes to ways of dealing with your own self. I feel like some Scorpios here in July, you really need to give your all or you're asked to give your all to something, and that's the challenge. So if this is about a relationship, and as you have here the Two of Cups in your unconscious, that might really be what you're dealing with. But if it is about a relationship, you're asked to give your all. You're asked to trust, to invest, to follow your heart, to follow the love, right? The trails of love, and just let love, reveal itself to you day by day. if this is not about a relationship and is about a professional choice, because for some Scorpios there can also be here a sense of being called to a vocation, being called to a mission, to a purpose, a sense of higher purpose associated with work or with something more tangible, more practical in your day-to-day life. You're also asked to give your all. So basically it's like give your whole heart to something during July, especially if you're deeply, deeply, deeply afraid of it. Like if you're really afraid or terrified to death of giving, yourself to something, I feel like for some Scorpios, that's the sign. That's the sign that you need, that's exactly what you should be doing, especially to break free from this type of energy that keeps you very emotionally isolated. So you could have an amazing partner by your side, but still feel emotionally isolated. And that is the purpose of July, is to help you melt down the places that keep love away, the places that don't allow that warmth, that regeneration to take place, where, for example, a person that loves you hugs you and you can't feel anything. Those sort of experiences are very much indicated here for some of you Scorpios. For others of you, again, there's an issue with someone in your life where there has been that sense of trauma, like a trauma bond, a connection that was formed where both parties attracted each other to sort out your own traumas. But this type of connections many times end up creating even more trauma on its own, initially at least, because of the high level of difficulty that it's experienced usually in this type of relationships, especially for Scorpios that have dealt with earth signs energies, so Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn influences, or for Scorpios that have strong earth energies on your own charts. This can be a significant message to you, where, especially if you know this earth influence or just this person, if you know this person for some time, if this is not a new situation, there's a sense of needing to perhaps bring things up to the surface, things that have been, again, in that heart space, needing to bring them to the surface, perhaps remind some things, talk through some things, so that healing can take place. And it's almost that for some of you Scorpios, this healing, your healing reflects someone else's and vice versa. So it's very important that if there are situations that, for example, you feel like you should, apologize, or like you feel like you should say something, even if you're very afraid of that, because you definitely could be fearful of, again, displaying your emotions out. But especially if you're, again, afraid of saying sorry. Maybe it's just a simple sorry, or anything else that you wish to say so you can feel more at peace with yourself. July brings forth a sense of help here to you every time you're being emotionally brave. So when you're being emotionally brave, the likelihood of you having a successful outcome is increased. So it's sense that if you're afraid to speak with someone because you have hurt this person or because you have let this person down, I feel like it will go better than what you expect. But of course, judgment is here. It's not ever going to be an easy talk, even if it's is a simple sorry that is being said or written. It's difficult because it's going to bring up things, it's going to bring up stuff from deep inside of you that in our day-to-day lives we just do our best to forget. So what it's kind of almost, what you have been doing your best to forget or let go or put behind you is not that didn't that you didn't successfully moved forward. It's just you have reached a point in your spiritual journey where all chains that hold you down to an to a moment in your life that doesn't make sense anymore and needs to be you need to be released from that so you can get the rebirth into another stage, into another cycle where more of that evolutionary energy will be felt. So for example, if you want your love life to improve, if you want your financial life to improve, if you want to find your mission on earth, all those things seem to rely a lot on what you're able to free yourself from that belongs to all that past, all that baggage, all that heaviness that was once a part of your life. So it's like a moment when we come face to face with what was and where we are, and we can clearly see that we no longer fit that version, right, of person and life and all that entails. But we're not yet fully in the new energy, because before we can be, we need to say goodbye to this. For some of you, could be a simple goodbye that you need to say, to do in your own way, a ritual of release, of letting go, of saying goodbye in your own way. For some of you, though, it could also be that during July, it's the same energy coming in from an opposite direction, where if someone has let you down, if someone has deeply hurt you, if someone has done anything to you that left, again, that Three of Swords energy, and this person comes forward with an apology, with love, with a difficult, talk, I feel like you need to learn to listen, in terms of, before you block or reject whatever it is that this person is trying to offer you. Don't be quick to block or push away the communication, because it can free you. It can end up by this person's attempt to get their forgiveness or whatever it is that this person could be looking for. The fact that this can be discussed can be enough to free you from something, to liberate you from something. So it's a time where certain things can really be moving you, deeply moving you. It's a time where your emotions are in a deeply transformative moment. But, it's like in the verge of that complete breakthrough. So you could be feeling more of that sense of heavy heart than usual. You could be feeling that you can't, again, stop thinking about something, and you could feel like you're obsessing too much about something. And it's like all of this is leading you to a point where you reach the aha moment, where you you kind of understand why maybe in the last month or months you have been through this ascending energy where things just seem to get worse, and when in actuality the purpose of that increase of intensity that can be felt as negative was to reach the moment that July brings: healing, forgiveness, release, transformation, and so rebirth. For some of you, there's a tremendous important relationship also being manifested during this time. You could be, again, bringing into your life a Two of Cups experience with the Judgment. So it can be a very soulmate, a very strong soulmate energy coming into your life. This can be someone that comes in here to deeply change you and move you when it comes to the purpose of the connection. It's immense. But this is also speaking to the fact that some of you, more than anything, is a feeling like you just need to reunite. So this can even be, an old friend, someone in your family you're not in a good terms with. There's a sense of needing to just reunite with something to feel whole again. Some of you, this energy could extend itself until August, but it's going to improve as you, again, also as you allow just things to be what they are. So it's like some of you are not really easily accepting the moment presented here. Maybe because you have other things going on that were good, so why have all of this energy bothering you now? You know? You could feel like July, it's uncomfortable. Especially if you have been a lot in your bubble of happiness and abundance and goodness, and then suddenly you feel like something just comes to bother you. This is where the temptation to shut down an energy that is coming in comes, because you might confuse feeling uncomfortable with, something you shouldn't deal with. Feeling uncomfortable is a clue and a sign that we should take that in consideration, because it forces us to grow and learn from outside of ourselves. So I hope you have a great month. Thank you so much for all of you that have been liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and donating to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll see each other soon.